Welcome to the latest episode of 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app, Red Circle, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, also the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Also, check us out on our Off the Floor feed. That's text directly to your phone, winnow.app/off the floor. And check out the great sponsors of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. This episode is sponsored by U-Brake Wheel Fix. You can find them at ubrakewheelfix.com. That's with a U, ubrakewheelfix.com. This is a complete wheel solution. They do the powder coating, the refinishing, the repairs on the unforgiving streets of South Florida. They can even do the heat colors for you. Check them out at ubrakewheelfix.com or reach out to Mark and his team. They're in the Aventura area. You can also check out their Instagram page, and it shows you all the cool stuff that they do. So check them out, ubrakewheelfix.com. And now, today's episode.
Down the Biscayne. Yikes. 5 on the floor. Ride for my dogs. Where here's the thing. You can check the score. Hustle hard, couple scars. Wearing bubble frogs. Just like Butler said, you in trouble, y'all. Kept the floor playing. Got it all banned. Y'all seen the block. Stop with one hand. And Pat we trust. It's power, have the guts. We're here to bring the heat. Y'all can hang it up.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, and Alex Toledo, plus others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to 5 on the Floor. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick on 5 Reasons Sports. I got Greg Sylvander. You can follow at Greg Sylvander. Alex Toledo can follow the Tropical Blanket. And our guy today. Now, we need a nickname for you. We always start here with everybody. Orlando Robinson, star of Miami Heat's Summer League, first team All-Summer League player. Are you going with a big O, or is that one trademarked? Is there something else you got to use?
No, just O. O in general.
That's what's up. Oh, I like it. Is that what the team called you?
Huh?
Is that what your teammates call you?
For sure.
Then that's his name. That's it,
Ethan.
Ethan.
There's already been a big O, Oscar Robertson. That's the big O. So, I think I'm going to just chill with O. I'll just take that one.
Well, here's the thing. You can't use the number 0 for obvious reasons. You already have one player on the team with that number and another one who may come who's worn that. So you can't just wear like the symbol for an O on the back there, though. So we appreciate it, but it seems like the big O would be appropriate. I mean, after what you just did, what did you average? Like 25 in Summer League? Let's start there just real quick, and we're going to pivot back to the basketball stuff in a second. Did anything you did in Vegas surprise you?
No, not at all. I've been training ever since I couldn't play in the playoffs to show out in the Summer League because I knew that's where I was going to have an opportunity to play. And, just all that hard work and all the consistency I stuck with that entire time just led up to that moment, and I was ready for it.
All right, let's go to something else in your bio. Greg's really good at digging up these bios on all of you players here. What musical instruments do you play?
Well, I know how to play the tuba. I did percussion when I was just like the basic drums. Have you seen Drumline?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Drumline. I did that. I did the Nick Cannon little drum thing. It's been years, but I still know how to like read music.
You had to have been the tallest guy on the drum line, though.
Definitely was. Yeah.
So they put you in the back then? Like, how does that work?
No, it wasn't really a drum line. It was like 6th grade band, but I know, it's just know how to play that. For me.
Are your teammates aware of this particular talent? Like, does that? I mean, I know Jimmy's got to play the country music in the locker room, but like, I mean, I could assume one day Jimmy would come in and say O or big O or O, just play the tuba for us.
Nope, that does not happen. They'd have to come to my house, and then once I have a house, I'll probably have like a drum set in there. They'd be like, "Dude, you play the drums?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I do." Let's be a whole bunch of instruments because I'm gonna learn how to play like 2 or 3 for sure.
The drums is dope though. Like if there's anything to play, that to me that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
I also have to ask you quickly how you feel about your Raiders heading into next season. I heard you were a Raiders fan. Is that true or false? Am I getting bad information?
No, that's true. That's facts. It's my hometown. I got to support the Raiders for sure. So
they got to give the running back a contract, don't they? What are they doing?
They got to. They got to pay him.
Most athletes feel that way about other athletes, but in this case, they definitely do need to pay him. He was a good deal of their offense. We're going to pivot here to Alex and some of the basketball stuff here in a second. I just wanted to ask you this question because we had Max Struess on the podcast last year, Gabe Vincent, Haywood Highsmith, others, and they've all kind of talked about Miami being this place that you can grow as someone who's undrafted, maybe overlooked for one reason or another. But you come to Miami and you could be next. And actually, I remember, Alex, you and I think had Haywood on our podcast at last year at Media Day. And he flat out said, I'm the next one. And in a lot of ways, he turned out he ended up playing some of those minutes in the postseason. When you went undrafted, was it a target to get to Miami? Because we've heard that a lot of undrafted guys are like, okay, I need to get there because I know I'm going to get an opportunity. Eric and the staff are going to help develop me, and maybe I can be the next one in this line. Did you and your agent decide Miami, or did you have a bunch of other offers you sifted through?
Honestly, I had two. It was either Washington or Miami, but my agent knew a lot more of what Miami had to offer in terms of their culture and how they take guys who are undrafted, like how I was. And he told me that was the best place to go in my situation because they really develop guys, and then he felt that our mindsets would match because I carry myself as a professional in a lot of different ways. And he felt that when I got to Miami, that it would be an easy jumping point. I'd fit right in. So I trusted him. And when I got there, it's exactly what happened. I fit right into what the program was. It didn't take me long to adjust with the regimen and anything like that and the culture of Miami. So I would say it was a wonderful fit.
One more thing for me. You talk about the culture fit and all that. Why do you think you went undrafted in the first place? Because when we see your skill set now, we're kind of like, okay, skilled bigs in the NBA, they're at a premium. Everybody's looking for them.
Spo calls them untrained eyes, Ethan.
Right? He says everybody else is an untrained eye. Why do you think you went undrafted?
Well, if I had to critique myself, I would say coming out of college, the 3-point, I shot the ball pretty well. Not nationally great, 40%. I shot the three well. I'm not catching. When I was in college, I had the ball ran through me all the time. I didn't really play off the ball much. I wasn't an elite shot blocker. I wasn't an elite lob catcher. So in that instance, I wouldn't be able to come into the NBA ready to go. I would need to be able to play with the great players. Obviously, the ball is not going to be ran through me straight out the box. I mean, those situations only happen once every, Trae Young and Luka and stuff like that. Stuff like that. It doesn't happen very often, even if you are skilled. So in my sense, I had the ball ran through me, so it's kind of hard for me to get the glitz and glamour lottery, I would say, because again, untrained eye. I am skilled. I'm skilled with the ball, but a lot of teams probably didn't see me as being valuable early. So that's probably why I would say that, because I didn't do anything exponentially great. In the league, you got to do something exponentially great or better than the people that are up there, because if you're going to take somebody's job, it's 1 of 400. So
I'll say that's pretty remarkable self-awareness, actually, right? You don't hear a lot of players who answer that question that way with actually a detailed answer on that. And it shows kind of the stuff that you've worked on since. I'm going to turn this over to Alex now, because obviously we all watched you in Summer League, but I know he wanted to get into some stuff with you.
Sure.
So kind of going off that, right? You mentioned how in college you had the ball running through you often. And then you mentioned now after getting basically a season with the Heat where you were the backup center for a couple of months there, and a lot of the fans were, they were into what they saw. And now what does it feel like after, kind of playing both roles, right? Having the ball run through you in college and then having to play a role for a team that's trying to win a championship. How do you feel now after having done that and then going back to the original role in college in Summer League, right? And getting this all Summer League first team, all of this, what type of growth is it going to equal from you after kind of having experienced everything?
Exponential, because that's 2 parts of my offensive game that I just put together. in a sense. Like in college, I was on the ball all the time, had the ball, ran delays, dribble handoffs, all that. I had the ball. I was making passes through double teams, stuff like that. So I didn't lose any of those skills. But when I got to the league, I learned how to play more off the ball because, I mean, I got Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, Duncan, like all these great scorers and great efficient scorers. So now I know how to play off of them. And in summer league, you got a chance to see both of those together. So, and then that's kind of something that I can grow upon because I'll have both parts of those games and I'll be able to do both of those things if needed. And that will allow me to grow because I can space the floor and shoot the three. I can play pick and roll. I can set good screens. I can put pressure on the basket by setting good screens. And just putting both of those pieces of my game together just make my value go up as a player.
I mean, we saw a lot of different types of touch shots that we necessarily didn't see you take while you were playing during the regular season. We saw you kind of show off the three, and we've seen you make them at shoot-arounds and practices before. But what does it feel like to be able to show those types of shots off, as well as, like you mentioned, putting the pressure on defenses with the ball in your hand and kind of making plays and showing off all these parts of your game and doing it at such a high level to where you get that award? How much do you feel all of that stuff will translate immediately to the next regular season and going forward?
Well, it's definitely going to take a I'm not going to be able to do everything I was doing in summer league upstairs. I mean, I can, but roles change in the league. Knowing that, like, whatever the team asks you to do, you just got to do that at a high level. So, based on what they've seen, if they allow me to do those things, then they allow me to do those things. If not, then whatever role they put in front of me, I'll master and excel at that role at a high level.
Did you know, Orlando, though, because it does seem again that they tend to feature a guy in summer league if you look past the past years, if you go back a couple years, they put the ball in Max's hands a ton. Like, he was making plays down the stretch. He hadn't done any of that really for them in their system before, and then they sort of saw the way that it played out. Were you tipped off to, because we knew obviously you have first round picks from the past 2 years, with Nico and now with Jaime, and that we thought we'd see a little bit more, I guess, of both, but they both had injuries and other things that went on here. But I mean, did Karan, did Spo, did Pat, or anybody say to you before summer league, okay, listen, you're going to get these looks here. We want to see what this looks like, and you're going to get these opportunities?
I mean, yeah, they did. I mean, just knowing like the draft picks, people getting drafted, that's just the politics of basketball. So, of course, it's not as just simple as the best players are going to play or whatever. But, yeah, like coming in, I knew like Nico and Jaime would have probably more. Like, we'd probably have if not, they'd have it more. But honestly, I didn't really let that affect me because I knew once we get out on the court, me playing hard and me playing 100% is all that really is going to matter in Miami. Like, they care about the intangibles, like the small things. Like, if I go out there and score 30 every night and I'm terrible basketball and I'm not playing with my teammates, then they're not going to value that over me diving on the floor, taking a charge, chase down, block, like getting that important rebound. Like, they're looking more for that. And just knowing that going into summer league, I didn't really like care that I wouldn't be like the number one option or whatever, but like I just knew if I went out there and I played hard, that everything would take care of itself, and that's what happened.
And that's what happened. You became that number one option. Go ahead, Greg.
That's just what I was gonna say. You became that number one option. It was clear who was the go-to guy down low. And I think you said something earlier about your ability to shoot and do other things, but playing a role and navigating the differences between when you were featured versus when you're not. And it kind of got me thinking about this element of you being in Miami and blossoming at the 5 spot. Obviously, Bam Adebayo is a mainstay in Miami. People have kind of dubbed him as the carrier of the culture, for lack of a better term, in terms of UD stepping aside and Bam being that next guy. But he plays the 5 and he plays the same position as you. And so I'm interested to pick your brain about, like, in Miami, your trajectory in your eyes is what? Like where do you think you can get to and how you fit with this team, knowing that one of the key cogs is a 5 and I don't want to box people into positions too much. So this is inevitably going to be my follow-up question. What is your thoughts about playing alongside Bam Adebayo?
I mean, that's my goal, honestly, because you know, a lot is put on Bam, a lot defensively, offensively, like he's the anchor on both ends, and a lot is relied on him, and you know, just and during the season, like I don't want to just be a backup. I want to be able to like impact the game. I mean, you can impact the game as a backup too, but like if I was gonna start with Bam, I would be able to be that kind of like Kevin Love was. Like game. He was able to space the floor. He was able to help Bam rebound, guard bigger players. Like everything wasn't on Bam. Like Bam didn't have to finish possessions, like guard the 5, box out and rebound. He didn't have to fight with 3 people to get the rebound. Like on the offensive end, if a shot goes up, he's not the only one going for the O board. You know, like somebody else is helping him. So I watched a lot of Kevin Love when he was doing that, and I said that's a role that I could fill to help Bam in the sense that I could space the floor, I could be active on the defensive end, I could help Bam rebound. We could put pressure on like people would have to box both of us out. It'd take 2-3 people to box me out. It'd take 2-3 people to box him out. Like it'd be a problem to like on the offensive glass. So like just a lot of those things are just going in my mind, and I can see it happening. I'm not going to take a spot because it's Bam.
That's the question. I think it's interesting to hear your point of view in this perspective, you know, from your perspective.
For sure. And like Bam is great, and he's just like up there. So like I feel that I could play with him though, and I can help out a lot in a lot of different instances by playing with him because of what I'm capable of doing.
Did you have that conversation? Because you mentioned Kevin Love when you did your Zoom call, you know, prior to Summer League. I mean, have you and Kevin had those conversations? I mean, have you told Kevin that you've studied him in that way?
No, but he's coming back. So I watched.
You don't want to give him no credit.
No.
I'm joking with you.
All the credit goes to him because that's the guy I was watching. But I never like went to Kevin and like talked to him about what he was doing. I was.
You didn't say lead me, Kevin. Take us there. You didn't.
See, that's like podcasters trying to apply sensibilities to regular people in locker rooms. See, sorry, Orlando.
So definitely, probably gonna talk more when I get back to Miami. You know, because like it was in the playoffs. I don't want him to be tutoring me in the playoffs. I mean, he got a job to do. You know, I was just being mindful, watching the things that he did, the intangibles, how he was taking charges. That's something I'm gonna have to learn because I don't take charges. But
UD let you on the bus like that? You can't.
You know what?
I mean, you got to take charges if you play for the Heat. Otherwise, UD doesn't let you on the bus. Like he doesn't let you on the plane. He doesn't let
Dwayne didn't take many charges.
Yeah, Dwayne was. I mean, Orlando, you're great and everything. No, but I mean, Dwayne, this is a different conversation. Dwayne didn't have to take a charge. That's all. Other people took charges for Dwayne. That's all. That's how that worked.
Never seen Bam take a charge, so I seen him check.
Good point. Good point.
I'm gonna do that.
Good point.
I'll take the charge.
You know what? You're right. I don't think I ever have seen Bam take a charge. I've seen him guard 1 through 5 and get back and block a shot after running all the way out to the perimeter, but I have not seen.
Finally found a defensive weakness.
You know what? That must be why he can't win Defensive Player of the Year because there are no charges. That's going to be the next excuse why they give it to Rudy Gobert again is because we're going to say Bam doesn't take a charge. That's
don't make me angry.
Either.
No, that's true. He doesn't take it. He doesn't do anything.
All
right.
It's
a whole other story.
Why he didn't get Defensive Player of the Year? I don't know what's that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Was that you mentioned watching the finals though? I mean, obviously, look, you had a role for 2 months on this team, and I know with the two-way rules and everything else that was going on, and not being available or eligible to contribute, was that frustrating at all watching this team go? I mean, it was great, I'm sure, theater for you, and you're happy for the guys, but I'm wondering, was it frustrating at all because they did run into some bigger opponents, particularly the last one. I mean, did it ever think to yourself, wow, if I'd been eligible here, maybe Spo would have tapped me on the shoulder here? Do you think there was any chance he would have done that?
If I was on the team?
No, if you were eligible, because there was the two-way situation, right? Coming up at 5 where you weren't eligible to contribute. I'm just wondering, if you ever looked at it and were like, okay, well, yeah, the guys are doing their thing, but you know, I wish at least I was an option for Eric here.
Yeah, I mean, that's basketball 101 right there. Any basketball, when you're just watching it and you're just like, well, I wish I could go out there and play. Like, could help out in that situation. Like, obviously, like, yeah, in my mind, I was like, I can help right now, but that is not what the plan. So, I mean, yeah, but it's just fuel for the fire, you know. Like this year, I'm on a team now, so now I'm not going to be in that position because now everything in my power is like reminding myself that last year, like they didn't think I was good enough to impact the team. Or they wanted more veteran leadership. Like they got Kevin Love and Cody Zeller. Those are vets, and I understand. I'm an undrafted player. Like they're trying to win playoffs. It's about business. Like, they trying to win. They ain't playing around. They ain't just going to just do that for anybody. So I understood from that standpoint that they want veterans. They want people who have been in the league, been in that situation. So I didn't mind it, but going into this year. It's definitely something that I'm taking with me because I wasn't able to help my team last year. I couldn't even get on the court. So now that I am on the court and now that I am in position to be on the court, I will then move differently when I get in that position again because I'll have that fire of, sitting out and not being able to play at all.
Well, certainly more of a level playing field now that you've gotten that contract. That certainly helps. All right, we're going to do rapid fire with Orlando before we let him go. We're going to do that right after the break. I do want to mention a great sponsor here, the 5 Reasons Sports Network, oceansfinest.com. The same premium seafood that gets delivered to the cruise ships, to the 5-star restaurants in Miami. You can find it at oceansfinest.com, delivered directly to your door. They got the mahi-mahi, the lobster, the shrimp, all of that great stuff. Just go to oceansfinest.com. Again, that's oceansfinest.com. And again, you'll get the same type of seafood that the cruise ships get and the 5-star restaurants get in Miami. And I can tell you, if you order it, it literally was here in 24 hours. I had it. I can't cook, so others had to cook for me. But if you can cook, all the better. Go to oceansfinest.com and get your premium seafood. All right, Orlando, I'm gonna turn this over to these guys before we let you close. Okay, we got who wants to go first? Greg, Alex, what we got? Alex, you want to do this?
No, I was saying go to Leif.
Go to Leif. All right, you go ahead. Start.
Let's roll. So,
I think Greg froze.
Oh man, that's incredible.
All right, you know what? No, I think Greg, you're frozen. So I'm gonna tie it here for a second. I'll go to this one to you, Orlando.
I think he's back.
You back?
Yo, am I back?
You're back. Go ahead. I'll let you go.
My apologies. When I say Miami Heat team captain and you can't say UD, what's the first name that pops in your head?
Bam.
Alex, go.
I like how he went to that without not even a ounce of hesitation.
It's amazing, considering the guy won't take a charge, but still, there we go. Alex, go ahead.
Drop that. You better drop that.
I will.
Right media always trying to start problems, man.
One defensive player of the year that do not take charge.
Media always trying to start problems. No, but
Alex, go.
My question is, you mentioned all the things that you can do, and we saw all the things you can do. On the defensive side, do you want to be somebody who can be used more often to switch out onto guards? We saw you a lot, showing and recovering. We saw you in the zone. We saw you blitzing. Where are the kind of areas that you're trying to grow there?
In that sense, I would say taking it one step at a time. That's extremely ambitious, but I know I can do it. I know I'm capable of doing it. Like Bam's been in the league a while, and he's just now doing it. Like he's been doing it, but I'm just saying, like now he's trusted to do it. Like they switch 5 Bam. So I know it's a process. So like right now, like all I'm really focused on is guarding like one position and just making sure like that guy is like completely out of the game at this point. If I'm guarding the 5, like bro's not getting no rebounds over me. Like he's not in the game. Like I'm in the drop coverage. I'm in the blitz. I'm in the short. I'm in like whatever pick and roll wise. Like he's the 5's out the game. That's where I want to get. And then after that, Now I can guard the 4. And then, like, in that instance, then I'll be able to do all that. But I'm just taking it one step at a time, one assignment at a time. And then once I master it, then I'll move on. It's gonna take a minute. Take a minute. I ain't just gonna come out the box just switching 5 everywhere. I don't want to be okay. I want to be at everything.
I love that mindset. I got to sneak this one in. Stranded on a desert island, and you have only one musical album to listen to. What album are you listening to for the rest of your life?
Greg, using the word album. Look at that. And I'm 10 years old.
Well, yeah, like, because that's what they are. They're like
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
Wow.
Oh, look at that. You're an old soul then.
That's what's up. I did not expect that.
You're just sucking up to Riley. That's all that is. That's the Motown thing. We know that he's taken over. Anytime we go to a practice and we hear the Motown, like, okay, Pat's in charge. Well, Pat's always in charge.
UD went with Tupac, All Eyes on Me, because it said a double disc, you get extra music, which I thought was a smart choice. But I'm interested. That's great, Marvin Gaye. I love it.
All right, you listen to that album. You tell me it's not a good album. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not going to argue with that. All right, give me your. We always force everybody to do this here because we know that he tries to break guys in and break guys down in practice. Duncan's told us stories. Others have told us stories. Give me your welcome to you're on Jimmy Butler's team moment in practice or something else. He ever go at you? He ever say anything to you at the very beginning that just to test you? Because it seems like that's what he does with a lot of guys.
I would have to say it was actually in the playoffs. We were playing Bam. Like, it was just me, Kane, Omer, and we were just like Bam, just getting Bam reps and just like playing, like being aggressive and just like taking the shots and being more decisive on like what he's doing. And Jimmy came up there and he was just like, y'all are so bad. Like y'all can't guard. You can't guard. And I had to look at obviously basketball players like, bro, I can guard. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll guard you. He's like, but I haven't had many interactions with Jimmy. I'll have much more, but like, I'm sure that was one. That was one.
I mean, it's good to have interaction with Jimmy because I remember Jimmy, when Max was a rookie, Jimmy made Max carry his bags all over the place, and now Max is making $63 million. So it seemed to work out pretty well for Max in that regard. And
he got his own bag to carry.
That's right. No, people are going to have to carry his bags now. They told Max that now that he's in Cleveland, they got to carry all his bags. But again, to that end, I'm going to let Alex close here with a question. But when you see Gabe, I know obviously you guys didn't want to lose them, but Gabe and Max and others kind of get the bag somewhere else, get rewarded for their hard work. I have to think that that's encouraging for a guy in your position that, like, if you do the right things, that there will be a reward. Hopefully it's from the Heat, but there will be a reward from somebody. Somebody's going to notice when you do that for this organization.
For sure. I mean, they helped me out a lot because they were in my position. Mm-hmm. So like them, like, they helped me mature in a lot of ways that I, in the basketball realm, like NBA is different than, not all the best players are going to play. Like, there's politics, there's stuff, there's all kinds of stuff that goes into who's really on the court, and some stuff that you got to like take on the chin and just understand that's the reality of the NBA and how it works. And they schooled me on a whole bunch of game because they've been in those positions, and I'm glad that I had those two to show me how to react and adapt to all the situations that they showed me. So, like, and to see them like go on and be great and do other things, I did want to see them back next year because those are my big homies. But just to see them like go get paid, and I wish the best for all my friends and teammates.
All right, Alex, close this out.
So this might be the toughest question of this whole show. What was your favorite moment of this last playoff run?
That first round was crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Milwaukee was wild. All right. So I would probably say that.
Jimmy's 56.
Yeah, I would say that was wild. That was like some real basketball right there.
What got into him? I mean, I know the whole playoff Jimmy thing, which he denies, he throws it. But I mean, it was seriously like watching prime MJ in that building.
I mean, hey, He's a leader. He's a leader. And we needed something from him, and he delivered. And he delivered spectacularly. And that's crazy to watch on the sideline. That's all I'm saying. Because when I saw that, I was just like, okay, this is the fun. This is playoff ball right here. This is right here. I said this. So if anything less than this ain't playoff basketball to me, because it set the tone in my brain. Like that's what it looks like.
That's a high standard.
This is why Heat fans are so spoiled, because they've had the I know they hate when I say that, but like they get to see that Jimmy game. They got to see LeBron's prime years do those kind of things. They got to see Dwayne do those kind of things. It seems like one after another, and in this case, it seems like the Heat have another undrafted find in Orlando Robinson. Final question here. If I was to say to you in 3 years, I asked Max this question last training camp, and he's already ahead of schedule now. If I was saying 3 years, where are you? Not where are you, but what are you doing in the league? Where do you stand?
I'm doing numbers, honestly. In the next 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years from now.
Greatness. I don't even know how to describe it, man. I just great. Just I don't know. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, we do this, and the third. But I'm just telling you, whatever I'm doing in 3 years is just.
I hope it's impacting winning in Miami. That's all I'll say,
I'm right with you. I'm right with
you. You didn't get that house yet, though? You said you don't have the house yet, right?
I don't have a house.
Okay.
I don't. But I'm one of them people that like to see that Kobe, Dirk, people, OG, stay there their entire career. Like I know that don't really happen, but like that's some stuff that I really like.
Have you had a Publix chicken tender sub yet?
I have not.
Okay, you know Publix.
I know.
I mean, even Messi goes to Publix.
Go into Publix.
They also have like the
Get
Nashville
you a chicken
hot
tender sub, man. I'm telling you, that's what's up.
Chicken tender sub.
But then don't get your body fat measured the next day.
Just cut out the bread part. There's like too much bread. I mean, they got the Nashville hot.
Pat hears about this. He's going to shut down this podcast.
I'm good. Everybody needs a cheat.
We asked Josh, asked Jay Rich about it. We told him about the Publix sub, and he went and got it, and he loved it. Ask him.
I'm gonna go.
All right. We'll get to it. Well, so last year we talked to Kane before the season, and he said I asked him for the best restaurant in Miami, and he said Spo was walking by us while Alex, Brady, and I were conducting the interview down at the arena. He said best meal you had in Miami. He said the Hard Rock at Bayside, and I'm like, the Hard Rock at Bayside, Jamal. Come on, what are we doing here?
I mean, that's just what's closest to us. I mean, now very different because we done been to some spots now, but before that, I was right over there with. I was like, oh, great, and I was just like, this is Hard Rock. And then now I went out, and they took team dinners and everything. Now I know a little bit more.
Well, we shamed Spoelstra when he walked by us there because we're like, that's seriously like that. Like, come on, Eric, with what you're making now, come on, you could take a best somewhere better than Hard Rock. So, but I'm glad that Jamal progressed a little bit. That's good to know. He's another on the list of undrafted guys who has an opportunity this year, for sure. Well, we'll just go with O now. We really appreciate the time. We appreciate the perspective. We'll see you at training camp. And again, congratulations on a great summer league. You really made Heat fans pay attention, and they wanted to watch you every game, and you got better every game too, which was kind of cool to see. So appreciate it. Thanks to our sponsors, Ocean's Finest, and also U-Break Wheel Fix. We'll be back with more episodes over the weekend.